Hi everyone, this is another weekly recap video of last week's discussion. And last unit we talked about your experiences so far observing other orientation and mobility specialists. And I also spent the weekend reviewing the journals you have submitted so far, and they're very similar to the discussion board. It's nice to see that so far everyone has had such positive experiences and they're learning so much from the people they're observing. You're learning about pre-teaching and actual orientation and mobility strategies and techniques, and it's great to see that you guys have questions. I encourage you to ask the person you're observing questions. I think in the good old days they were called master teachers. I think they moved away from that, master service providers, but they really are masters. So keep that in mind. The very act of having someone observe them gives them it requires quite a bit of confidence, and so know that when you ask a question, do it as respectfully as possible, and because they don't have to have you observe them, right? They're doing you a favor. They're doing the field a favor by having another orientation mobility specialist in the area, maybe. And I can say that I've read all of the journals so far, and you've really been included in some varied lessons, and it's just so nice to hear that you guys are having such great positive experiences. One of the things that came up, one person, I'm sorry, I can't remember who, was very impressed with the fact that the person that they were observing asked other orientation mobility specialists in the area what they thought her next steps were, or what their thoughts were on what she was doing with a particular student. And I can't stress enough how important that is. So when you enter the field, always ask, have a network of people that you can ask questions to, and know that as a low incidence disability, it often seems like we're alone out there, especially if you're in a smaller community, and it doesn't have to be that way. Make sure that you are included in listservs, and there are a lot of states that have orientation mobility listservs, or if you're also a teacher of the visually impaired, that a TVI listserv. Make sure you're on that, and make sure that you read other people's questions. You can learn so much from reading things that other people post, and the answers that people have been teaching 20-30 years, that they can post about what has worked for them. I also encourage you to check out AER. There's one person in class that went to her state AER conference this week, and it is our professional organization as orientation mobility specialists. So check out AER. They have a really great listserv, and if you have questions, there's some really great people in the field, very high up in the field, that people who wrote your textbooks will reply to you and say, hey, why don't you try this, this, and this. And so right now you get a student discount, so check it out. It's really a great resource, and it really keeps us together and united, and it doesn't, even if you're in a smaller community, you don't feel so alone. So that's my advice for this week, is keep yourself deeply involved in a network of supporters and other orientation mobility specialists, and always be open to getting feedback from other O&Ms. Otherwise, another great week, so I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say next week. Oh, one more thing. I've reviewed everyone's journals that have been submitted so far. If you haven't submitted a journal, take it from me, don't wait too long. When I was in this class, I may have waited too long, and it was really stressful. If you wait past mid semester trying to get those 30 hours, and even if you're working, make sure that you write the journals as you're observing. Otherwise, it's really hard to go back and try to write about things that happened, weeks ago. So another advice for you: don't do what I did. Anyway, another great week. See you next week. Bye.